Welcome back dear students to learn again. In the previous video we saw that mother tells the girl that she had a feast for them but she will give it after the supper. Supper means dinner. The girls understood that it must be their father's letter and became very excited. Beth says that it is too proud for them that their father is selected as the chaplain in army. Joe wished to be a drummer, a nurse, so that she could be with him and help him. Amy disliked the atmosphere of the tent. Beth asked their mother when their father will return home, and their mother said that he will take time, and she called all the girls to listen the letter. Let us read further. They all drew to the fire. Mother in the big chair with Beth at her feet, Meg and Amy perched on the either arm of the chair, and Joe leaning on the back, where no one would see any sign of emotion if the letter should happen to be touching. So when the girls were called to listen later by their mother, all gathered near the hearth, where mother sit at the big chair, Beth sit at her feet, Meg and Amy sits on the arm of the chair, and Joe bent from the back of the chair, so that no one could see her sign of emotion if the letter would be emotional. Let us see next slide. Very few letters were written in those hard times that were not touching, especially those which father sent home. In this one little was said of the hardship endured, the dangers faced, or the homesickness conquered. It was a cheerful, hopeful letter, full of lively description of camp life, marches, and military news, and only at the end did the writer's heart overflow with fatherly love and longing to the little girls at home. So during the hard time of March family when their father was far away in the war, many letters were heart-touching and emotional, which father sent. As far as concerned to this letter, it included about the hardship endured. Well, endured means bared. So he has written how did he endured or bear the hardship. He also wrote about how he faced the danger and how he overcome on the desire of homesickness. In the beginning it looks cheerful as it says about the description of camp life. Marches means movement of the army and military news. But at the end of the letter, it was so emotional, as it shows father's overflowing love and desire to see his daughter at home. Now let us see how was the emotional part of the letter was. Give them all my dear love and a kiss. Tell them I think of them by day, pray for them by night, and find my best comfort in their affection at all times. A year seems very long to wait before I see them, but remind them that while we wait, we may all work, so that these hardship days need not be wasted. I know they will remember all I said to them, and they will be loving children to you, will do their duties faithfully, and fight their bosom enemy bravely, and conquer themselves so beautifully, that when I come back to them, I may be fonder and fonder than ever of my little woman. So in the last part of the letter, father put all his emotions, his love in letter. He writes to give a love and a kiss to his daughter from him. He writes to tell them that he prays for them every day and night. Moreover, he finds his comfort in their affection or love. He writes that the year seems him too long when he saw them before. He reminds them all that while waiting they all should work and should not waste the time in those hard days. Further he writes that they would have been remembered what he said to them, that they would be loving children to their mother and would do their duties faithfully, would fight with their bosoms enemies. Well, blossoms means here close inside, that can be fearful thought or ill nature, and conquer on them means have victory on them very beautifully, so that when he will return he will feel proud than ever for his little woman. Let us see what happened when the girls heard this letter. Everybody sniffed when they came to that part. Joe wasn't ashamed of the great tear that dropped off the end of her nose, and Amy never minded the rumpling of her curls as she hid her face on her mother's shoulder and sobbed out, I am a selfish girl, but I'll truly try to be better so he mayn't be disappointed in me by and by. We all will, cried Meg. I think too much of my looks and hate to work, but won't any more if I can help it. So the last part of the letter of the father was really touching to the heart. By listening it, everyone sniffed. Sniffed means a short inhalation sound, sometimes associated with crying. So, by the listening of that later, they started to cry and sniffed. Joe dropped tears down without being ashamed. Amy didn't mind with her rumpling of hair as she hid her face on the mother's shoulder and sobbed. Well, rumpling means disturbed or messed up, and sobbed here means saying something by crying and taking long breath. So here Amy did not mind for her hair, which were totally disturbed, and said by sobbing that she was a selfish girl, but would truly try to be better so that her father won't be disappointed again and again. By and by means again and again. Listening it, Meg also cried that they all will try, and added that she was too possessive about her look and hate to work, but it won't be in future. Let us read others' expression and emotions. I'll try to be what he loves to call me, a little woman, and not be rough and wild, but do my duty here instead of wanting to be somewhere else, said Joe, thinking that keeping her temper at home was as much harder task than facing a rebel or two down south. Beth said nothing, but wiped away her tears with a blue army sock and began to knit with all her might, losing no time in doing the duty that lay nearest her, while she resolved in her quiet little soul to be all that father hoped to find her when the year brought round the happy coming home. So here we can see Joe's response by listening the letter. She says that she will try to be a little woman who is having well understanding that her father expects from her. Further, she added that she wouldn't be so rough and wild by nature, but will do her duty instead of hiding somewhere else. She thought it wasn't easy to control her temper or anger than facing the resistance from others or one after another. Beth didn't say anything but wipe away her tears with blue army sock and continue with knitting with all her power by not losing her time doing her duty. She had hope in her heart that when her father will return home, it will be happy home. Let us see the final paragraph. At 9 they stopped work and sang as usual before they went to bed. No one but Beth could get much music out of the old piano, and she had a way of softly touching the yellow keys and making a pleasant accompaniment to the simple song they sang. Meg had a voice like a flute, and she and her mother led the little choir. Amy chirped like a cricket, and Joe wandered through the air at her own sweet will. Their mother was a born singer, and the first sound in the morning was her voice as she went about the house singing like a lark, and the last sound at the night was the same cheery sound, for the girls never grew too old for that familiar lullaby. So at night they stopped working and sang a song as usual they sing before going to bed. No one could play old piano like Beth. She played the piano by simply touching the yellow keys and by making a pleasant accompaniment to them. Meg had a voice like a flute. She and her mother led the choir group. Amy sang like a cricket. Well, cricket means a small insect, and Joe danced through the air by her own way. Their mother, Mrs. March, was a born singer, means she had a great voice and had been singing from her childhood. It was her voice which started the day in their family in the morning like lark and ends the day with the lullaby by which all girls grew but having feeling of small forever. So with this we come to the end of the lesson. See you soon in the next video. Till then, have a nice time. Thank you.